Let's talk about a fundamental right: protection from unreasonable searches and seizures. This right is enshrined in the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. When police overstep their boundaries, it's a big deal. It's not just about finding evidence, it's about respecting people's dignity and autonomy. Imagine someone rifling through your home without a good reason. It's invasive and unsettling. It erodes trust in those who are supposed to protect us. Unethical searches and seizures aren't just bad police work, they're a betrayal of the public trust. They can lead to wrongful convictions and imprisonments, ruining lives and tearing apart families. Here's the thing, police officers can't just barge into your home or search your car on a whim. They need a good reason, backed by solid evidence. This usually means obtaining a warrant, signed by a judge, based on probable cause. But there are exceptions, like if an officer sees a crime in progress or has a reasonable belief that evidence is about to be destroyed. The line between a legitimate exception and a flimsy excuse can be thin, and that's where unethical searches often occur. Maybe an officer relies on a flimsy tip from an unreliable informant, or maybe they use racial profiling to justify a search without any real suspicion. The bottom line is this: a hunch is not enough. The police need concrete evidence, and they need to follow the rules. Let's put some faces to this issue. This isn't just about abstract legal principles, it's about real people whose lives have been upended by unethical police practices. Take the case of Ramparte Lacefield, a man who spent nearly 3 years in jail for a murder he didn't commit. The evidence? A single strand of hair found at the crime scene, which was later proven to be a false match. Or consider the story of Clarence, who spent a decade behind bars for a rape he didn't commit. The supposed evidence? A flawed eyewitness identification and a coerced confession. These cases highlight the human cost of unethical searches and seizures. Imagine being ripped from your life, your family, your job, based on nothing more than an officer's hunch or a convenient lie. It's a nightmare scenario, but for victims of unethical searches and false imprisonment, it's a brutal reality. The scars of such an experience run deep, leaving lasting emotional and psychological wounds. The trauma of imprisonment is undeniable. Many victims struggle with PTSD, anxiety, and depression long after their release. They may have difficulty finding employment, securing housing, or rebuilding relationships due to the stigma of a criminal record. Legal fees, lost wages, and the costs of reintegrating into society can be crippling. The system that was supposed to protect them has failed them, and the road to recovery is long and arduous. When communities, especially marginalized ones, are subjected to constant suspicion and unwarranted searches, it breeds a toxic atmosphere of fear and resentment. It's like living under a microscope, always feeling watched, always wondering when the next unjustified stop or search will occur. This is particularly true for communities of color, who are disproportionately targeted by racial profiling and discriminatory policing practices. This creates a deep sense of mistrust and alienation from law enforcement. It's hard to feel safe when you constantly fear being stopped, questioned, or searched for no reason other than the color of your skin. This erosion of trust has far-reaching consequences. It makes people less likely to report crimes, cooperate with investigations, or view law enforcement as a source of protection. It creates a dangerous divide between the police and the communities they are sworn to serve. So what can be done? Well, for starters, we need better training for police officers. And I don't mean more time on the shooting range, I mean comprehensive education on constitutional rights, de-escalation techniques, implicit bias, and cultural sensitivity. We need to equip officers with the tools and knowledge to make ethical decisions under pressure, not just react based on fear or prejudice. We also need stronger accountability measures. When officers violate the rules and conduct unethical searches, there need to be real consequences. This means independent investigations, disciplinary actions, and when warranted, criminal prosecution. Holding officers accountable for their actions is not about being anti-police, it's about ensuring that the immense power they wield is used responsibly and ethically. Furthermore, we need to address the systemic issues that contribute to unethical policing. This means tackling racial profiling head-on and investing in community policing strategies that foster trust and collaboration between law enforcement and the communities they serve. It's about creating a system of justice that truly lives up to its name, protecting the rights of all citizens.